said, did you know that there's 3,573 blessings in the Bible? 3,573 blessings. That's almost 10 blessings per day for a year. So what that means every morning God got a blessing waiting on you. He don't even got one blessing waiting on you. He got about 10 blessings waiting on you. So what if every morning you woke up and there was a blessing of protection over you? Every morning you wake up and there was a blessing of love over you. Every morning you wake up, there's a blessing of provision over you to provide for you that day. God can do it. The Bible tells us he did it for the Israelites in the wilderness. Every day for 40 years, God every morning provided them manna. Daily, fresh provisions daily. And on top of that, listen to what Lamentations says. And yes, Lamentations is in the Bible. It's a small book. I know most of Lamentations, yes, it's not a apocrypha. It's actually in the Bible. Lamentations chapter 3, verse 22 and 23 says this. The faithful love of God will never end. His mercy never stops ceasing. Great is his faithfulness. His mercies being renewed every morning. His blessings and his promises are renewed every morning. And this is what Jesus tells the enemy. He said, man shall not live by bread alone, but by the promises of God, by the mercy and the grace of God, by every word that comes out of God's mouth. And God has promised you 3,573 promises. But notice this, the second temptation that Jesus encounters after Jesus tells the enemy that man shall not live by bread alone. The Bible tells us that the enemy takes Jesus to the holy city, and he has him standing on the high point of the temple. And he says, if you are the Son of Man, then throw yourself down. Now this is the enemy speaking. For it is written, he will command his angels concerning you that they will lift you up in their hands so that your feet would not strike against the stone. Did you catch that? After Jesus just basically told the devil, I live by God's promises, the devil comes and tries to get him a promise and twist it. Just jump off of her. The angels are going to catch you. That's what God promised you since you live by the promises of God. You see how he tried to twist that? Sometimes that's what the enemy do. Sometimes God will give you a promise. God will tell you know what? I'm going to do this for you. I promise you I'm going to heal you. I promise you I'm going to provide for you. I promise you I'm going to do this. And then what happened? One day happened. The devil was like, oh, you didn't get healed today? Tuesday come around. Oh, it's Tuesday. You still not healed. You believe in God still? Wednesday come around. I know you ain't believing God. It's been 3 days, 72 hours. When God going to show up for you? That's how he talk, because he's trying to rush you. He's trying to push you off. Like, jump, Jesus, jump. He wants you to jump. But listen to Jesus' response. Jesus says, it is written, do not put the Lord your God to the test. Meaning, don't demand a sign or proof of Yahweh's trustworthiness. For this, what we do, faith is all about trusting. Trusting God's timing, trusting his characters, trusting his promises. Jesus' response shows us the difference between faith and presumption. Faith is trusting God, listening to him. Presumptions is we're just doing something reckless and like, God, come on and step in and do something. Did God tell you to do that? You know why Jesus didn't jump? Because God didn't tell him to jump. You know why Abraham sacrificed Isaac, his son, or went to do it, and not his wife? Because God said the son. He didn't say the wife. If God tells you to do something, do it. But if God tells you don't do it, then don't do it. Jesus said his will is to do the Father. His will is to do the one who has sent him. He actually said in John, he actually told his disciples, My food is to do the will of him who sent me. Jesus did everything by the instructions, by the leading, by the guiding of the Father, of Yahweh. Now, this is important. This is why we have to read our Bibles. This is why we have to spend time with God. Because as we read our Bibles, as we spend time with God, we get to discern his voice. We get to know his voice. And we get to know his voice from our own thoughts. So when the enemy whispers, jump, well, is that me talking or is that Jesus talking? But if you know it's God, like, nah, that's Jesus. That ain't Jesus. Nah, get away from me. That ain't God. I know his voice. Sometimes you know when your parents call you. Sometimes your mama say something, you're like, that's my mama. Sometimes your daddy call you. Sometimes I be amazed. I do. I be out with my kids. I could be like, son, and he'll turn around. But it's amazing to me too, because everybody is named daddy. Everybody's named daddy. And you could be somewhere and they can say, daddy. And you know if that's your child, your son, your daughter, or somebody else's. Daddy, oh, that's not me. The voice too high, the pitch is off. That ain't my child. Daddy, oh, that's mine. It's amazing because that's familiarity, because you've been spending time with them. You've been conversating with them. You got to know them. So when you get in that word, that's you spending time with God. That's you getting to know Yahweh. That's you getting to know his voice. So when he calls your name, when he says, hey, come get this money, when he says, hey, move, when he says, hey, I'm going to heal you, it's coming. You know it's from him. And a false voice you won't listen to.